What's good, YouTube land? Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, Earthrise Wave 2 is slowly making its way to shelves, and the only one I found so far is this Decepticon, Snapdragon. Spoiler alert, he doesn't turn into a dragon. Here is his box. Ooh, there's that picture. There's a picture of Snapdragon. Insinuating that he has more elbow curl than he actually does. On the back, pictures and things. I guess we can go to the thing in the background. And they've actually, this time they've attached the red strip right there. I'm not going to take it out because I don't need it. I have one right here. And it reads, can we read it? Biosphere. Apparently you're actually supposed to cut these pieces out. Lord knows I haven't been doing that. Oh well. I guess there's no better time to start than the present. Hold on. I dropped this. But here's Snapdragon in his robot mode. Here's a comparison to his bro, Ape Face. Apparently these guys are a team. The horror cons. Sure, whatever. And right away, well, I don't need to have Ape Face here any longer, but what I like the most about this robot mode, I think, is he's unabashedly wearing bits of plane on him. Like, just wearing chunks of his alt mode. Like he's just wearing pieces of a fuselage on his already boxy shins. And he's got, wings on the backs of his forearms. But other than that, he's actually fairly clean. You only got really this back piece that you might consider kibble. I wouldn't consider it kibble because it's his back. It kind of needs to be there to cover up some things. Also, I want to compare heads for a second. I like the idea that Ape Face and Snapdragons, their colors are kind of inverted for their faces. Like purple helmet, silver faceplate, beige. I know beige and silver aren't the same, but they're the same idea. Purple faceplate, although Ape Face has red eyes and Snapdragon has orange eyes. But unlike Ape Face, Snapdragon's headmaster actually gets a name, which I think his name is Crunk. Pull the lever, Crunk. And personality-wise, Snapdragon, well, the best way to describe him is he loves to destroy things, but he's very lazy. Same. Like the thing I got out of it is he loves and enjoys destruction, but most of the time he doesn't want to get out of bed at all. And I can relate to that. But I like this robot mode. Color scheme, kind of black and purple and beige. The translucence. I like the little pop of pink the back of his head gets. Oh, there's also a bit of teal. And there's copious amounts of detailing. I like that the purple stripe goes all the way through his chest and down to his groin. it gives it a good look, although they're not exactly the same shade of purple. They're close enough. His only accessory besides his head are this pair of pointy guns, which do have the siege ports on the ends of them, so you could plug in effect parts, and they do look properly science fiction-y, overly detailed, kind of needle nose looking guns. Which you do get a pair of. Give you a shot of his fist there. Articulation-wise, head is on a ball joint, although it's not the most secure connection, unfortunately, and popping it in the other way doesn't really help much. It's kind of just like stuck at that angle, so it's unfortunate, but it's workable. You can get all the swivel, tiny bit of up and down, tiny bit of left and right. Shoulders, universal joint can go all the way out, revealing that, which breaks up the sculpt, so if you want to look the best, you might just want to use only till that far. You do get a biceps. Oh, no. You get forward and backwards all the way. You do get a bicep swivel. The one unfortunate thing about this guy, that's all the elbow articulation you get. You actually kind of get a bit more going the other way, but that's for a different mode. You could kind of conceivably you kind of have to move things around if you want, I guess, more. And it won't even bend much more because of things getting in the way. But that's really unfortunate that he can't bend his arm 90 degrees, which means when he's holding his gun, as he will often be holding his gun, he has to point his shoulder forward as well. Oh well. Nothing at the wrist due to how he transforms. Waist swivel. Although I wish they could have incorporated a wrist joint, like a proper one. But given how much stuff is around that wrist, I can see why there wasn't any room for it. Hips can go full forwards, almost full backwards. They bump into his back a bit. He can go full Van Damme. He can go whoa. Would you call it? I don't know if you'd call this a full Die Hard, unless he actually attacks somebody with his crotch. But thigh swivel on a mushroom peg, knee bend. Just about 90 degrees. Yeah, pretty much 90. And unfortunately, while there is an ankle joint, you're not really going to get much use out of it, unfortunately. Like maybe up to there, but that for transformation, it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, there's no inward ankle tilt as well, which kind of is unfortunate because most of the War for Cybertron toys so far, at least a high percentage of them, have had inward ankles tilts. That would have been nice to see on this guy. But weirdly, his heel can do that. Both sides can do that. Like it moves along. Like it's not a transformation joint, but it flows in the transformation. Like you'll see what I mean, but like it's weird. I don't know why. Like the only thing it's good for is actually getting out of the way of something. But other than that, he's got some posability we'll have to talk about in one of his other modes. But overall, the robot mode, I'm a fan. I I keep going back to the shape of his head. It looks so weird. I can't describe exactly what the pointy hat looks like to me, but like it doesn't look like a natural head shape. It doesn't look like a flat top. It doesn't look like, I don't know what it looks like. But I wanted to call it egg shaped, but not exactly. Oh. Well, we have two modes to get to, and it's not gonna take very long because he has a weird, like, extremely easy transformation, and he gets a one up on the Seekers because he actually can transform holding both of his guns. But there's other things I forgot to talk about. The Decepticon badges on either side. He's got ports, one there, one on each shin, one here, one here. He's got weapon ports alongside his arms. You could also plug guns into his tits for a different mode, but you can do it in this mode as well. He's got underside ports for weapons. He's got ports here, like everywhere. Like he's got the usual War for Cybertron stuff. He's got one on his back along with it. We'll talk about that in the jet mode. But yeah, as I said, like strangely easy transformation, especially given the modern toy. But first thing you want to do, I'll show you this guy's robot mode. He has a bit of detail. He has gigantic triangles sticking out of his arms, which are actually necessary for a mode. And he's got the usual ball joints and double hinges. He's also got some detailing right there. But you're just going to want to have him sit like that for the other two modes. And as I mentioned, you don't have to move the guns. So you can start with the legs, fold these up, come to the back. I appreciate the fact that they actually engineered these pieces to fit in the backs of his legs to cover up the gaps. I appreciate that because he could have easily done it a different way where it wasn't covering up. But you want to fold them. They're on a double hinge and system. You've got a sole joint hinge right here, but you want to just straighten them out and then rotate like this. So do it on the other side. Fold it all the way straight. Rotate. Plug his legs together. And most of the jet mode's already done. All you have to do really is unpeg the backpack. But one thing I noticed right out of the box is these stems that attach the arms into the shoulder. They peg in. This one on the one on this side, right out of the box, for some reason didn't want to go in. Like it was very loose and it would occasionally pop out. Having this toy for a couple days, it stopped doing that. But you might notice that right out of the box. But you want to just fold them in until they click, and then you can fold the wing, rotate the elbow so the wing lines up, plug it into that tab right there, and that's an arm all done. Same thing on the other side. Rotate the elbow, line up the wing, fold, fold, and then just snap it into place. Oh, and you can come down to fold out some landing gear. But yeah, that's all it takes to transform a Snapdragon into his jet mode. I was really surprised when I got him out of the package and looked at the instructions. So he is very much a plane with a robot lying under it. Like it's barely changed, except the fact that it doesn't have a head, which can work. Like some people are not gonna like this. It very much reminds me of Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire in just how much robot was like right under, but it hugs tightly. It makes the jet look, in my opinion, it makes the jet a bit more complete. Because while there are small gaps back here, the main body of it it looks like one solid piece. So I think that kind of works to its benefit slightly. I'm willing to forgive it. Some another you might not be. It all depends on your taste, but yep, there is. Well, actually, you can finish the jet mode by turning the guns around if you want. The instructions tell you to peg them under the wings, but if you don't want to parts form at all, you can just leave the guns in there. We'll have to take them out for the next mode though. But yep, this is his jet mode. I like how all the whitish beige is kind of just formed a uniform strip on the top side. It gives it a very uniform look until you reach that part right there. But like the majority of it, it looks clean. I'm not a fan of this cockpit though, because well, one, it's translucent plastic, and two, it has issues with clearance because it goes right over that little piece right there to close up, and I feel like something's going to go wrong there. But you do get a full cockpit with gribbly and buttons and whatnot for Mr. Prunk to sit in. He doesn't really peg in anywhere. He does have slot. I no, those are just molded detail, but he does have foot pegs on the bottom of his feet. So if you want to mess with the Titan's return, if you want him to mess with the Titan's return toys, he can. This guy has none of those such pegs on him, so he can't ride anywhere other than the cockpit. But here's what I'm saying: you have to force it over the plastic, and I don't like that. I do like the fact that he has multiple cockpits. It's very reminiscent of his original toy, like pretty pretty accurate, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. I keep coming. I think of Blackbird, like Spyjet. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Do do do. G1 toy. Oh yeah, SR-71 Blackbird spy plane. Okay, they've just kind of well, they haven't added this part, but they've changed the color of this part from the original toy. But yeah, he's a Blackbird. Although he's black on the bottom, that's not the point. But he does have tons of molded in detail. It's now clear to see everything that was kind of covered up by the robot mode, especially that back panel. But you can see, I like the cockpits. Well, I guess cockpits, yeah, technically, because you got two. But I guess you would put like a fake person sitting there to disguise yourself. Mm. He's also got weapon ports here, right there, those two. You can probably use that screw hole. Well, that's not a screw hole, that's a hexagonal port. Along with combine the blast pimple things, the siege ports on both on two on each wing, one on the gun barrel, the molded in gun barrel, and one on the top. What else? There's a tiny Decepticon insignia right there. I guess to contrast the two giant ones, they're still visible on the underside. Also, each the pylons on his shoulders, which I guess are masquerading as more guns. also have those little siege ports. But yeah, I do like it. It's long and skinny. I like his jet mode. It works if you don't uh, mind the underside. But let's get to the other mode. So this time you do have to take off the guns. And here's the funniest, probably the best part about Snapdragon. This part of the jet you move to get out of the way. And yep, poggers, or whatever that expression is supposed to be. But you can do that. And that's my only thought of why the heels have those joints, is to move along with that and stay flush. But you want to do that. You want to take out little crunk, and then try and line up the cockpit. You want to unpeg the arms, fold the wing back up, and just kind of fold them down to a place you think they go, and fold out the dyno mode uh, foot. Excuse me. You can do the same thing on the other side. Fold it down, and then you want to untab that peg and rotate where the combiner, where the headmaster port is. Flip out another head, and you can open that. And you want to bring this panel all the way down, which gives you clearance to fold out his little dino arms, and then bring this all the way. And you have to bring up the legs because there's a pair of tabs right in there, and they peg in to those slots right there. So the only way to actually make it work is to bring his tail or his robot mode legs all the way up like that. So it pegs in, sort of. Not really securely. It just have a resting spot. And then you can have this piece lock in slightly. Fold the arms down. And I'm not a fan of this, but he does have a headmaster port inside his mouth. So if you get it, like, you have to futz with it, in my opinion, like, quite a bit to get it to actually lock, because it wants to miss most of the time. But once you get it in, just kind of fold it like that, and put the head like that, and there you go. You have one dyno mode. This thing is hilarious. I love this thing. It is extremely awkward. Just look at that. Like, talk about freaking birthing hips. Like, his hips are like so far apart. It's ridiculous. But he is a little bit hard to balance because his tail goes like so low. You kind of have to either pose him. The best way I can get him to pose and stay balanced is like that, so the tail's not on the ground, or you put it just so that the tail is on the ground, because any lower and the tail, he's gonna go backwards, because his tail is one solid piece of robot legs, and B, it's gonna hinder any more of this kind of upright posing you want to do. So you do have some options though in your Tyrannosaurus posing. I think he's supposed to be a Tyrannosaurus. He's like, the arms say Tyrannosaurus, but they're also teal. Excuse me. What else is there to talk about? Okay, articulation wise, the head. can go all the way back. And this is also why he has those arm little extra bits, because they form the eyes of this mode, which is a cool touch. It's also very awkward given he's got a whole other face as his lower jaw. I I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. Like here, it's kind of hiding away, but like I'm not really sold on this as a lower jaw. It's articulated jaw, sure. He can do some definite screaming. Actually looks kind of good screaming like that. Or you can have him like really uptight and like have a serious underbite issue. But things like that. It's hard to find a place that they actually look good, like because even again, there's a bit of an underbite right there. Um, these I wish the Dino arm had a bit more posability than it does, because the shoulder is just on a swivel and the elbow is just on a ball joint. So like I wish there was some outward motion, like, and the ball joint is set high up, so it's like it feels more limiting because you can just get like that range of motion out of it. Like there is some decent range, but I kind of wish there was more. Maybe I'm being greedy. Hips are your full robot mode arms, so they go out actually as far as you that far. It's a dinosaur taking a whiz, and the elbow actually works better as a knee joint. And there's nothing. There's a actually there's you could use the transformation joint sort of as an ankle joint. I don't know how well that's gonna work out or benefit. Oh, I completely forgot the most important step. Just like the G1 toy, you can peg his guns into his back because a Tyrannosaurus absolutely needs a pair of cannons on his back, on his lower back, in fact. And the only point of articulation the tail has is that right there, which really you don't want to go much farther than that because you're breaking up the sculpt, and it's not really. I wouldn't call it a waggle as much as just a somebody stepped on his tail. Overall, I really like Snapdragon as a collective piece. He's very easy to transform, and he's quick and fun. If that's the best way I can describe. Like he's solid. His motor's solid. I feel like this is I don't know. This is the best way to describe it. A toy you can give to a kid. Like I feel like he's not gonna like a kid's not gonna break anything forcing something away. So that's well, they could still do that, but also does that wait? It looks like it is a hinge right there. I'm curious. Well, oh yeah, that's I'm no, that's not a joint that moves. I mean, technically it is. Oh, hold on. Really, he does have an ankle tilt. Oh my god. I take okay, let's go to I want to see if this works in robot mode. Excuse me. I just uh how do I can't get it back down now. Oh, there we go. Nope, nope. Come on. How did I actually maneuver that so badly that I actually can't get ah, there we go. Okay, I'm going back to robot mode. Sorry. I don't want to say I I'd like to correct my If my something I said is wrong, I'm going to correct it. Okay, yeah. They definitely work as proper ankles. Wow, I was wrong. He does have an ankle tail. I just hold on. Pull that back in. Pull that. You do kind of have to give a bit of clearance for things because the chest plate can, like, it has to go around the dino arms. So see every single do. Or if you want, yeah, you can give him dino paws in his robot mode. But yeah, I was actually wrong. He has an ankle tilt. I wow, I was wrong. I would say that doesn't happen very often, but it does happen quite often. So I rescind one of my critiques of this guy. He does have an ankle tilt. The elbow joints are still disappointing, though. I'd still keep with the idea that the ankles or the elbows are still a disappointment. But huzzah, he does properly have ankle tilt, and it can bend that far in. I somehow didn't notice until just filming that section right there. It makes me like him even more. So I think Snapdragon's a really good figure. I think the quick, easy transformations are something like a kid could easily pick up and play with and figure out which mode to go to, and probably Frankenstein up a mode or two themselves. He has all the articulation you expect in a modern toy, albeit some of it's unfortunately limited. I wish he had a wrist. I wish his elbows went 90 degrees, or I wish they were, I don't know, if you could work a double joint in here somehow. But overall, I think he's, yeah, really good figure. I highly recommend Snapdragon, especially if you bought Ape Face, because they kind of have to go together. But I don't think he needs Ape Face. I think he stands out all on his own as having three solid and different looking modes that actually hold together quite a bit better than Ape Face. I find Ape Face's modes, the tab connections are a bit iffy to whether they'll properly hold together or not, and you have to do a lot of futzing with them before they finally actually get in the proper position and everything locks up securely. But this guy, no problem. But yeah. Uh, I don't know where he's available. I found him at my local comic book shop, but I haven't seen him on regular retail like Toys R Us or Walmart or one of those places. So I don't know how readily available it is, but as if you can see him, I wouldn't skip out on him. So thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, keep it weird or keep it horrifying. I don't know. I don't really do anything for Halloween, so a horror con is the closest I'm going to get to a Halloween themed review. But bye.